My wife always played off to friends and family that we don't go through each other's phones because of trust. What a crock of crap that was. She came home last night, drunk as hell, around 10 p.m., and passed smooth the hell out. I had been growing suspicious lately because she had been walking from the bedroom to the bathroom, and vice versa, naked a lot more than usual. That in itself isn't unusual, but she was also avoiding me and giving me strange looks while doing so. I knew that, when she passed out while hammered, she would not wake up on her own for hours. I took the opportunity to say, "Screw it," and scratch this itch that's been intensifying. So I grabbed her phone out of her purse. I unlocked it and went straight to Snapchat. Okay, she's been talking to some guy, but still no evidence. Then I went to her messages to see she's been texting her dad. This was her stepfather from the time she was 2, straight into her teenage years. He's been known to want nudes from her for money, and she has obliged, but that was all before I met her. Well, all messages were deleted until 1:24 p.m. that day on until 10 p.m. Well, at 1:24 p.m., her dad sent a message that said, "Damn, looks like it's ready for Junior." Then she sent a message saying, "Yes, it is," to which he responded, "Well, I'm gonna have to go rub one out." The rest of the messages were her drunk, asking for money because she got stuck with a $300 tab at the unofficial holiday party. This seemed off, so I went to her pictures. Nothing until I went to deleted pictures. I saw a picture of her on our couch, flashing her private part at 1:22 p.m. Say it's not so. Say this didn't happen, only to realize it's worse. I saw multiple explicit pictures of her taken basically every day for the last 30 days. The deleted file only holds pictures for 30 days. Keep in mind, I haven't received pictures from her in months, and when I did, they were never as explicit as these pictures. Then I saw 2 nudes of a guy our age who lives in our town, as well as 2 nudes of her taken around the same time frame. I knew his girlfriend, but not him, so I immediately messaged his girlfriend his pictures and told her what happened. I took pictures on my phone of everything, and I mean everything, so I went to confront my wife with her phone. She was so incoherent and just denying everything, but while she was denying, she was also deleting the evidence off of her phone. I left our house and walked to my mom's house, which is on the same property. I spent my time playing with our 3-year-old daughter, worrying about what was gonna happen. Until I got a text from my wife at 2 a.m., just after my daughter went to sleep, saying we need to talk. I went home with nothing but divorce on my mind. She begged and pleaded with me, saying that she's turning into her mother, who has bipolar and a few other mental disorders. I've noticed my wife slowly having the same problems, but not nearly as bad. Her mom was also a messed up parent and really did mess my wife up in the head as well, although she was good at hiding it most of the time. She said that she just liked the attention and that it was nothing but pictures. She began calling herself names, crying, begging me not to leave her. I don't know if I can trust her on what she's saying or not, but nothing besides the weird nakedness had changed, and she had still been treating me with all of the love in the world. Yet, if she loved me, why would she be sending nudes to other men, especially her damn dad? She even told me that she didn't get money for any of it, and she was just doing it for attention. I treat her like a queen, so she gets plenty of attention at home, and my sex drive is way higher than hers too. I have to think about my daughter here, because if I divorce my wife, she'll probably get the big end of the stick when it comes to custody here in Texas. And knowing that she'll probably move in with her mom and her husband, which would severely mess up my child. Also, I'd like to state that her dad owns her mom's or husband's house. Years ago, he made it an issue that I was not allowed over there under any circumstance because he was jealous and wanted her or he would kick them out. I know for a fact she loves me, and I can tell she's genuine in her apology, but I can't say for sure that she won't do it again. I made her block her dad and the F-boy, and made sure she understood that if she ever contacted either of them again or sent nudes to another man, I'd file for divorce immediately. She thinks I'm giving her another chance, but I'm still on the fence about the whole thing and don't know what to do. My daughter is my main concern here. Also, we both have good jobs, so money isn't the issue. I've done nothing but love her, and this whole time I thought I was getting the same. So here we are at 11 a.m. Almost on my birthday, by the way, and I couldn't go to sleep, so I'm still up and have been for over 24 hours. I'm not tired either. I just feel like I can't sleep anymore. She didn't sleep either after our talk, and I can tell it's really bothering her. Didn't stop her from going to get her hair done though. Happy frickin' birthday to me. It's a lot to unwind, and there's actually a lot more to this, but I'm not writing a novel. Second story. I have been with this girl, we will call her Jen, since we were kids. We lived together for a few years, shared so many amazing memories, and traveled the world with her. I always spoiled her and showered her with presents, affection. I introduced her to a lot of the finer things in life. I truly thought she was the one. Around the beginning of the new year, she decided she would move across the country for graduate school. She was unhappy in our hometown. Being as my work can be done from anywhere, and the fact that I had friends in her destination city, I decided I would move to. I say that, but the main reason I moved is because I was totally obsessed with this girl. I couldn't stand the thought of being long-distanced. As I previously mentioned, me and Jen were together since we were kids. We had our fair share of toxic times, many situations we regretted as we grew older together. We were always able to move past any disagreements, but her father couldn't get over some of the stuff in our past. He never liked me or forgave me for a particular incident where I was rude to him. As a result, he would not let us live together in this new city. He supports Jen financially and gets her a nice apartment downtown. I'm well off and got my own place about 20 minutes away. The first 5 to 6 months in this new city together were amazing. We had so much more fun than our hometown. We'd sleep over at my place or hers every night. We made new friends, ate great food, and made a bunch of amazing new memories. I was always obsessed with her, but it felt like a fresh spark had hit our relationship. The sex was great, and overall happiness was high. Last month, I needed to go back home to handle some business. I asked Jen if she would watch my dog, who is practically her dog, and obviously, she said yes. She dropped me off at the airport and I left. As the week went on, she was being a bit cold via text. I didn't think anything of it though. When I got back home, she wasn't answering my texts or calls. When she finally did, she came and dropped my dog off in my driveway and didn't really say much. She said she would come back later, but she never did. She texted me and said she had been thinking a lot. She said she doesn't know if she wants to be in a relationship anymore and needs time and space to think. In the back of my head, I knew I was missing something. She had never acted like this for no reason. Fast forward a couple of days, and when she finally did answer me, she apologized. We met up. I took her to multiple $400 plus dinners, took her shopping, and bought her expensive flowers. All to put a smile on her face and remind her how much she means to me. She said she was still thinking about things, but I felt like we were in a good place. Fast forward a few more days, and we had started sleeping over with each other again. I went through her phone because I knew in my gut something wasn't right for her to have done all this. Sure enough, she had been texting a friend of ours who I willingly introduced her to. She was calling him Bae, saying she wants to suck and fuck him. There was even a selfie pic of them. with their tongues down each other's throats. They also were making fun of me. Jen was screenshotting my messages, begging for her attention and sending them to him. I woke her up and confronted her. She was hysterical, crying, saying how badly she has fucked up, how I'm the only thing that matters and all she's ever cared about. I locked myself in my bedroom and practically cried myself to sleep. She never left to go home and slept on my couch all night. She claims it happened 3 times. The first time when I was out of town, then twice more when I returned. Apparently once while she was ignoring me, and then once in between the nice dinners and shopping trips. I truly feel like a clown. I need advice badly. I don't really have friends I could turn to, and not close with my parents. Jen was my best and only friend really, but this whole situation makes me so sick to my stomach. Story number 3. She cheated with my best friend. It all started when I met C in grade 5, and I had a crush on her for years. Never gaining the talk to her or anything as I was just figuring out these feelings. Plus, I knew I was an introvert from the beginning, barely having any real friends besides a small group of 4, one of them being my best friend Jay. We did everything a kid could do together: go camping, play video games, board games, sleepovers, all those things, and thought of him as a brother. It was he who had the courage to add her to put friend group. We grew closer as we got older. It was only in grade 9 that me and C were starting to get closer as friends. During high school, when we were both in grade 10, I finally gained the courage to ask C out, and to my surprise and happiness, she said yes. Our first date was amazing as I took her out to her favorite restaurant, which wasn't really expensive, but did have a big bill. Then we went skating, as she has always loved that, and that was one of the best memories I've ever had. Over the next 4 years, we had the best relationship, or at least what I thought was the best. It was only during year 3 of our relationship that C wanted to go to the next level, and so did I. But I was just so nervous about it that I never realized what was happening between my girlfriend and best friend until it was too late. I was also stressed from the SATs that I didn't have enough time to spend with her either. It all came to a screeching halt when I passed my SATs. My nervous about having sex went away with the letter, and I walked to her apartment to tell her the great news. I entered the elevator to go to her floor and walked to her door when I noticed it was open slightly. In a panic, I opened the door myself, not thinking straight and thinking she was in trouble, but found nothing. I walked around the apartment, but eventually I noticed the trail of clothes leading up to her bedroom door. If those weren't obvious, then the moans and screams of pleasure were. That was until I noticed a jacket on the ground, the very same one I gave Jay on his 18th birthday. I saw only red when I thought that and barged into her room. They were both shocked at my interruption, but C soon screamed in terror as I pulled Jay off of her and started beating him. I was never a violent person growing up, but this rage and betrayal turned me into someone I hope I could never be again. It's been 2 weeks since I caught Jay and C together, and I have been ignoring every message they sent me. Every call and voicemail they made have even ignored their family's attempts at getting me to speak to them. I couldn't stand to be in the same room with them anymore. Every time I think of them, I just remember that day when I caught them. Hope you guys have any advice about what I should do next with them, 'cause I don't. Update. As many of you pointed out, I had to get the truth about our breakup before the 2 of them vilified me. To my and possibly your surprise, they didn't say anything about me, but they also didn't out themselves. The 2 of them kept quiet about the whole thing, and I couldn't stand that. Watching, as if nothing happened between the 3 of us. So, I contacted as many of our mutual friends as I could to tell them. Some believed me, others thought I was in the wrong. A few were indifferent, but all looked at J and C differently after that day, as I had many details of what they did while those paws fucked. After I outed the two of them, I realized I needed to get away from the city. I lived here my whole life, but I had to get away. I just couldn't stand being close to C and J anymore. I was simply getting boxes of my stuff ready to move when I could, and I heard a knock at the door, and wouldn't you know, C was standing right outside. Her eyes are just bloodshot, and looks like she hasn't slept in days. I barely opened it for her anyway, so I just rudely asked, "What are you doing here?" Because I'm not about to be gracious towards her, and never will again. She asked to be let in, to talk for a minute, and I decided to do so, but not to take her back, to just hear the excuses I know she'll come up with. She started to cry, asking for forgiveness, and wanted to explain why she did what she did. I kept a straight face and didn't say a word while she was speaking. She told me how she felt neglected, cause of the lack of sex between us, which I guess is true. She went on to say that Jay comforted her and slowly began to fall her. As the days went on, one thing led to another, and I had caught them soon after they became physical. After she was done, I told her that if she fell for Jay, all she had to tell me was that she wanted to break up. I would have accepted them getting together afterward, but they didn't do so. Instead, I saw my first love in bed with my best friend. I told her I was moving away after this, that I couldn't stand being in the city anymore with C and J or their family, but I didn't tell her where cause I didn't want her to follow me. I saw the tears flowing even faster as she heard that. Guess she thought that we could reconcile after what happened. Well, sorry, C, but I have other plans than take you back. After that, I just held onto her hand. She gained a hopeful look in her eyes and led her to the door, before pushing her out. She turned towards me, pure sadness in her eyes. Then I said, "I'll never love you again. Go back to Jay. I'm sure he'll be happy to accept you fully. After all, he already did so." I slammed the door in her face after that, and heard her crying outside, but didn't care and just continued to relax and back my stuff. As for Jay, well, never bothered with him again. Didn't speak to him, didn't respond to any of his messages. Nothing. I'm done with them, and nothing will change that.